Alright guys, this is your boy Big Bird back with another video today on Cooking with Big Bird. So, before I get started with the video, there's one thing I do want to say. I want to apologize because last time I made a video, I served you guys a bad product. And what I mean by that is that even though the food looked good, my workstation was terrible. It was filthy and there's no excuse for it. Presentation is everything. So if you have a dirty workstation, that's not good. Even though I didn't use the sink, I still worked in the area, and I worked in a dirty area, and so that was bad. And I do apologize to everybody for that. And as a result of that, because of people were right, they were right in saying, "Hey man, what the heck? He's cooking in a dirty area. There's things that's going on," and I couldn't go ahead and be like, you're wrong, because that'd be dumb and crazy. So I was like, no, they're right. You have to have a clean work area. Presentation, like I said, is everything. So clean work area, clean utensils, all that stuff. So even though that my boards were clean, and even though I cleaned it off one time, there was a piece of hair on it. The hair did not get in the food, but still, nonetheless, I need to be more aware of those things that happen. So that was my fault for that, and I do apologize. Right now, today, we're going to go ahead and make chili. So far, I already got started. Right now, what I'm doing is I got some small red beans, and I'm bringing this to a boil. What I'm doing is I'm going to soak the beans, because usually before you cook beans, you want to soak them. Usually 6 to 8 hours in warm water. But if you want to do a quick soak, what you do is you go ahead, you put beans in water, about 6 cups. This time I only put 4 because it doesn't really need 6 cups, but just put them in some water, and then you let it soak for an hour, and then after that you rinse them off, and then you cook the beans. You actually cook them. So that's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to go soak, and then let them sit for an hour, and then while we're sitting for an hour, we're going to go ahead. We have our ground meat over here, ground turkey. We're going to cook that and get that ready, and also, as well as cook the vegetables if there's enough time. All right, so stay tuned. All right, guys, I'm back. Yeah, we got our beans soaking. So while our beans are soaking, this is about 50 minutes left on that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and basically cook the ground turkey. Now, I drained a lot of this blood, but I'm gonna drain some more later after I get through cooking it. All right. So we're gonna put that on our burner here and cook it. Now all of it is thawed, so I shouldn't have no problem cooking this. I'm gonna add some seasoning to it. Add some pepper to it. There you go. And then we're gonna cook it. Now I know some of you wondering, like, why is he cooking it here in this pot? Well, the reason being because the skillet I have is way too big, and I feel like I won't get enough heat around it, so I won't cook even though the meat is going to get cooked, it's going to take a little bit longer, so this will be quicker, and that's why I'm doing it. All right, now our turkey is now brown, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain this liquid so it doesn't, it gives some flavor to the chili, but, I want to just drain it. Alright guys, so now we're gonna chop up the vegetables. So I got green peppers, onions, and I also got garlic, which is not shown here, but I'll show that later. We're gonna chop that up and then pretty much set that to the side, and because they're just waiting on the beans to finish soaking. Once they get through finish soaking, then I rinse them off, and then once I rinse them off, I'll cook them. Alright, so with the green pepper, I cut off the top and the bottom. So I'll leave this, but this whole middle part here, I need to take that out. So I'm just going to show you how I, just cut into it. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna push it. Just see, push that out. Oh, okay. All right. So now what we're gonna do now is kind of with the I'm gonna salvage some of this. So this white part area in here I'm not gonna use. I'm gonna cut around it. Same. I'm gonna just cut these up, and then kind of with this. Oop! Don't want that to fall on the floor. If that falls on the floor, we're doomed. So we're gonna cut down here. All right. So cut there, and then I'm gonna cut right here. See, voila. And then these white little edges right here, I cut them out because I'm not gonna use them. And then we're gonna chop up the green peppers. All right, so the way that I'm gonna cut my green peppers as usual, like a lot of times when I dice them, you cut them like this. Cut them like that. And then I dice them up. All right, so our green peppers are nice and chopped. And then we're gonna get on to the onion. All right, so we're gonna get our onion. Oh. And so I like to just keep cutting down the middle till I get to a nice, to some nice pieces. So yeah, I like to have them down to looking like this, and then I go ahead and I dice them up. All right, so now we got our onions diced. And so I use 2 onions and I use 2 bell peppers, by the way. So I was gonna chop up the garlic, but since these are so small, I'm gonna take 6 of these, chop them up, mince them up. All right, so I chopped up the garlic as much as I could. I really wanted to mince it up, but I just said, nah, I'm gonna just chop it up like this. And this is fine. So the next thing I wanna do is I wanna heat up the vegetables. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm kind of heating up my pan. Heating up this this pot a little, so I can go ahead and put the vegetables in there and brown them a little bit before I go ahead and get started with the beans. All right, so these I'm not gonna season because I don't really have to. They're gonna get the seasoning when they cook with the beans and the bouillon and stuff. So I'm not gonna season these. I just want to brown the onions and also too, kind of cook the green peppers as well as the garlic. Ooh, that's smelling good right now. That garlic's smelling good. Oh, okay, our vegetables are ready, and so let's get started on the beans. All right, so now we done rinsed our beans, and now we're gonna cook the beans. So we rinsed the beans and cooked the beans. Now I'm gonna add bouillon in there. All right, so you see I added the bouillon cubes in there. So it calls for these ones, they say for each cube, 2 cups of water. So I got 6 cups of water in there. So I got 3 bouillon cubes. Some are smaller, so you might see some half this size, or they'll say just 1 cup for each cube. All right, guys. So now the beans are nice and tender. They're cooked. They're basically flavorful with the stock that I put in there. So now we're gonna add in the tomatoes, the tomato paste, and some of the seasonings for the chili, and as well as add in the vegetables and the ground meat. All right, so now we got our can of tomatoes here. Add them into the chili. We add them to the beans. Add a can of beans. There. Get diced tomatoes. All right, now we're gonna add in some tomato paste. All right, so now that I added in the tomato paste, now that I add water in, I'm gonna slowly add it in, so that way this texture, I can have that, good texture. I don't want it to be thin like soup, but I want it to be thick. A little water in there. Let's see how it's gonna be, because it's gonna be really, I don't want it to be too thick, and at the same time, I don't want it to be thin. I want it to have a nice smoothness to it. So it can be like chili and not soup. So this looks pretty good. If I need to add any more water, I will, but I doubt it. Now we're gonna add in, I'm gonna put a little salt in here. Put a little salt in here. And some red pepper this time. I know that the beans are seasoned, but you know, the tomato sauce is not seasoned. So add a little salt there. Add some red pepper. Add in some red pepper, and then we're gonna put in the vegetables and the ground meat, and then the other seasonings. All right, now to add in our vegetables and our meat. All right, beautiful. Now we got a full pot. Now then, to add in the other seasonings and some sugar, and then we let this cook for about an hour, and it should be ready. So you can see here, it's kind of mixing in well. I added just a little bit water because I think that was too thick. It's starting to look the way I want to. Now to add in the cumin and the chili powder for the color, I'm adding a little Italian seasoning to give it more flavor. So now I added in the cumin and the chili powder. Now I'm adding the brown sugar after I get through mixing this up, and it's all gonna come together. All right, so I added the brown sugar in. So we're gonna let this cook in for an hour, and then after it cooks, you know, I'll show you the final result. It's gonna look good and taste. And one more thing, you wanna cook this on low heat. So once it gets to bubbling lava type, cover it, cook it on low heat for about an hour. Really low heat. That way, you know, the vegetables get nice and tender, the onions get nice and tender in there. The garlic can, you know, simmer inside the chili. It's, you know, it gets to be flavorful and tasty. So, all right, be back in an hour. The moment of truth is finally done. So I'll go ahead and yeah, this looks pretty good now. The finished product. Put some in a bowl. You know, yeah, it looks good. Looks nice. Let me taste it. Go ahead, taste it. Oh yeah, that's delicious. All right. Hey. All right, check. All right, guys, check you out on my next video, man. Spaghetti. All right. You have a good day. Peace.